Of course, yeah, it's definitely not dirty, and what they're doing is just being real physical. But Caitlin Clark's different.
Clark hits Iowa's first three.
Smart decision to not put a heavy press on early. You don't want Caitlin Clark to get in a groove of picking apart your defense to start.
Lob into Sonano, goes up, scores.
Came off of that same pass where there was a help defender and they stole it. So definitely got to watch out.
Clark, long three, count it. Caitlin Clark, 5 quick points, 7-2 Hawkeyes lead. Steal, Clark on the push.
That's a pull-up.
You know it's going up. She got it!
Heat check, and she makes it. Clark is too nasty.
Sonano from 15 misses. McKenna Warnock, great rebound. Caitlin Clark, pull up three. Look out!
Wow! She's unstoppable.
Now in the starting lineup. Clark, all she needs is about a millimeter of space. And the step back has not gotten a shot off, does have 5 rebounds. Sonano and Clark combining for half of Iowa's scoring, and that is another.
Caitlin Clark now facing some pressure from Wilkie and Pospisilova, but oh my goodness, look at Caitlin Clark. Outmaneuver 2 players on the Badgers faithful. Cole Center, a lot of different players getting involved. Look at the speed from Caitlin Clark, just bodying her. Marshall trying to figure out what she's going to do. Passes it to Stulke, back to Clark. Clark with a shot from the logo, and it is made. Caitlin Clark, it's unreal, Max.
It really is. 2 for 3 from behind the arc.
You can support as well by visiting v.org/Stewart. 100% of those donations goes to research, and there's Caitlin Clark out of the timeout for the lead for Iowa. Their tendency on out-of-bounds plays is for Caitlin to get it right back, and then watch the screen right here after the post entry.
Best in field goal percentage in the country, so efficient, so effective. The fact that she now has her second foul, that is bad news for Minnesota.
Caitlin Clark going to the free throw line for 1.
Clark recognizing the situation. How about the answer by Minnesota? They get down early, but they've made some good mid-range shots to keep themselves in it here.
Sonano and 1, splitting defenders and the finish.
Clark, step back 3. Rattles it home. Hawks needed that one. Misses, rebound goes to Clark. Clark pushes it up. Draws the contact, gets the bucket.
Clark just hit her with about 6 different moves. Gave her a combo piece, biscuit on the side. Got
the All-American as the clock ticks down to 5. Beautiful give and go, and a 3 to ignite this crowd.
Carver Hawkeye Arena just takes her time, steps into the defender, creates the space. The Hawkeyes up by 8.
But now she's taking that next step by looking to score more.
That's a really fun matchup between her and Sonano today. Caitlin Clark behind the screen, drills a 3.
Iowa assistant coach Jan Jensen, and has just loved Iowa her whole life.
Oh, what a tough drive from Caitlin Clark. Just adding on to that everlasting highlight reel of hers.
So Clark reading the defense, comes around, finishes a little away from the basket so she avoids getting blocked.
One of those distance attempts, swings it up. Look out. Marshall to stop it with 2.3 seconds left.
Well, you know she likes that left step back. She doesn't need a lot of time or a lot of space. And Caitlin Clark just nails it. And that's a good contest. That's just a heck of a shot. Good contest, better shot. Better shot.
Warnock swings it to Martin. Inside, low block. Good dump inside. Sonano can't handle it. Clark, long 3. Got it. Tied at 10 on the Clark 3 ball. Warnock with the rebound. Goes to Clark. Dribble drive. Shakes off the defender. Comes back to the right hand and scores the layup.
McKenna Marisa's 100th career start. Feed inside to Sonano for 2. There's an open look for Caitlin Clark. Don't ever do that.
You can't forget the inbounder.
Time report with Naz and Justine coming up from Chicago right after that.
Skates off the front of the rim. Hawkeyes trying to weather the storm. Clark spinning, throwing up a circus shot, and one.
This is her will. Watch here as her strength just dips that left shoulder into the defense, gets her eyes locked on the rim. And
Martin with the basketball. They get it to Clark.
Ooh.
Working on Joyner. Go into the lane, spinning, fade away. Got it! Caitlin Clark.
Clark with the steal. Caitlin Clark with the layup. From the NCAA tournament earlier than expected last year.
And that focus, they don't want that to happen again. They lost on their home floor.
Great pass inside. Unable to finish, Bourne.
That was a dime, though. You said it.
Well, Shelley almost got the steal. How about Clark? Oh, she is so smooth. Clark already, Sarah, 14 points.
It is banger after banger. Around the back, deep three. Got it to go in transition. I mean, this is nasty.
Stolke, a local player from Cedar Rapids. Crowd into it. Miller back into the game. Lost it. Here comes Clark. The flick ahead to Stolke. Beautifully done. She's right at the top with Caitlin Clark and Aaliyah Boston. As Warnock turns it over. Reese, of course, the Maryland transfer. Myers gets blocked by Clark out of bounds. It's going to stay here.
See Caitlin Clark coming in from behind. That's smart. Don't get the foul call.
And she's done a good job stepping up into this role and learning on the fly. As a point guard in the Big Ten, you get immersed in a lot of, oh my gosh,
Behind the back.
going down. I mean, you got to run like three-way jerseys at her. Ooh, behind the back. McKenna Warnock. Point guards have eyes in the back of their head. Clark didn't even see Warnock.
We had that T-shirt made up last year, and they sent me one. I was like, oh, wow, that's awesome.
Caitlin Clark, her first shot of three.
How about Caitlin Clark flying around here with a cape on?
Here is Clark. No points in the quarter. And changes that with a step back rattling down.
She knew she hadn't scored yet.
In some foul trouble, she was limited against Indiana. Clark takes it away and goes all the way. Monica Sonato, second and third, respectively, all-time in Iowa career scoring. The 7th turnover for the Scarlet Knights. Clark feeding Marshall.
Basketball pass receivers, and Sarah Williams with another quick shot and a score. 12-5. Here's Caitlin Clark on the inside. Pass down low to Monica Sonato. Out on the left baseline, working the perimeter. Molly Davis looking for Sonato. They skip pass. Now back on top. Clark shot from 27 and good for Caitlin Clark.
Searches for what would be one of the signature wins for their NCAA tournament resume. Caitlin Clark wastes no time hitting her first shot.
The depth and the outstanding play in the Big Ten.
Caitlin Clark, another one from deep, her second three so far today. They're the reigning Big Ten tournament champions. It's not that they don't want that this year. What they really want is a deep run in March. Clark unloads from deep. Caitlin's second three-pointer of the evening.
The rhythm on the dribble with Caitlin Clark, the bounce, the right to left cross step back every time. It is so difficult to close the gap because she's gotten so much better at getting to the rim.
I think Iowa right now is feeding off it. The question is, can they sustain it as this first quarter continues to go on?
Clark, there she goes again. Yes!
You have to guard Caitlin Clark even before she crosses half court. What's that, about 26 feet? When she's going to her left and in rhythm, she's going to drain it.
Martin looking. Here's Clark. She fires, and it goes! She hit it! Wow!
Screen, another screen. More McNeil trying to get around, runs into Sonato, and just look at that, off balance, going to the right. Doesn't matter if everyone knows whose hands it's supposed to be in. Magic happens when magic happens, and we've seen it a lot with Caitlin Clark.
And a legendary career adds another page in the legend. Ella Gazzardo, the head coach. Her team rallied twice in the Southland Conference Tournament for wins, and that one dead on. Right on the money.
I mean, watch right here, the separation. She likes to move to her left bit. Oh, my goodness.
Inside, Sonata can't get it to go. Clark with a little fall away, got it.
Oh, boy. The fader. Filthy. And then right here, she gets the rebound. We said she averages 7.5. And what will the team do without said player? And for me, you take Caitlin Clark off the floor. I mean, that just creates so many issues for Iowa.
Tough shot there. Got it to go past Cunningham.
Well, Caitlin Clark, this is the change of speed I'm talking about. She's still surveying between the legs, changes direction, and changes her speed. That's tough. I don't care if you're the first, second, or third line of defense. That's a problem for you. She applies so much pressure with what she does with the ball.
Clark with a triple. Yes.
Caitlin Clark has her cape on early at Carver Hawkeye Arena. Knock it in.
12 points a game, named the Southland Conference Tournament MVP. Inside, going to that left hand. Sonato, beautifully done. Everybody in the world knows she's going to take it. And she hits it. Yeah. Great strike on the other end, and Stokey able to lay that up and in for two.
Graduate, I was a thank you, Lordy. Graduate.
Clark on the spin inside and banks it in and draws a foul too. Foul on Cunningham.
Due in the fall and non-conference portion of the season.
Clark again beating everyone to the opposite end for two. She's off to a great start with 17. Sonato hauling in 7 rebounds a game. She was named to the Wooden Award late season top 20. She needs some empty space on the shelf too. Rolling to the basket for an easy two.
And Caitlin Clark is on triple-double watch, and we're not even to halftime yet.
Lane opens up, and she'll lay it in. Where you just can't sleep for a second.
And then watch this dime. They have been built for this all season long. The word for them has been resilience all year.
Underneath, Sonato gets him started here in the second half.
For Caitlin Clark, they are tracking her every move that she makes.
Clark will loft it up there and swish it in with a three. Such a quick release.
Not touched the ball for the last couple of possessions. She got it this time, and she loves drifting to her left. Boom, all net. And then a touch to the collarbone to compete at your highest level and be a star in your role.
Inside, Clark will add to the total. What we're going to see tomorrow night from Ohio State. But Louisville, a terrific defensive team as Clark finally shakes free. Here's Van Lith, has it stolen by Clark. Clark trying to outrace Cochran, able to pizza pie at home. And a Stolke, impressive freshman. Big, getting ready to check in for Iowa. Clark, great feed. Warnock, she got it. Van Lith, can't answer. Rebound Marshall. 13-10, Louisville lead. Oh, what a find. Clark to Warnock. Clark looking to shake free. Clark, step back three is good.
A smaller defender on Caitlin Clark. Look at the step back, hop into it.
Here's Clark, guarded by Robinson. Clark firing again. Oh my! Caitlin Clark, a showstopper.
And then again, a different defender, but still on the smaller side and able to hit it.
Possession arrow belongs to Iowa, so it's going to stay here. Here's Clark open in the corner. She got it.
And that can't happen because Caitlin Clark is too.
Clark will fire and hit.
We'll get back to that here. Caitlin Clark, you know when she goes left, watch out. That's where she is.
Jones can't hit the quick jumper. Not sure Jeff Walls loved the shot. Here's Clark. Oh, what a no look. Warnock finishes. Another rebound, Warnock, who's having a huge game.
That's not the shot.
Clark connects on a three. Timeout, Louisville. Of the junior's career. Here's Clark wide open. You bet. 31 for the Maestro. Knocked away. Marshall. Clark to the rim.
With getting some of those turnovers Lisa Bluter was talking about.
Narika Kono into the game for Louisville. Clark decides to take. Why not?
And Jones just threw her hand up in the air like, what more can I do? Caitlin Clark can control the crowd's emotions, and she can control these teams. Very willing and capable of pushing in transition and scoring quickly.
Here's Clark working around Fletcher. Caitlin Clark has Iowa on the board first. Saxton has the position inside, surrounded and just taken away by Sonato. Clark the get-ahead right in the lap of Warnock for two. That foul was on Saxton. South Carolina, a very deep team. Clark looking to turn the corner, lays it in through the contact for Caitlin Clark. Zaya Cook off to a terrific start here in the semifinals. Clark will fire and hit from three.
And because of their bigs' ability to switch on the perimeter defensively, Dawn Staley can go with this giant lineup inside.
Clark turns the corner and lays it in. 9 points for Caitlin Clark.
She's done the work, and Zaya Cook has been the mentally strong player here in the first quarter.
Clark, great look. Sonato lays it in. Unlike most teams that make it this far are extraordinarily deep. Sonato lays it in on the delivery from Clark. And unlike Boston, Clark is going to remain on the floor. Clark fading and hitting. Sydney a falter, gets it into the arms of Clark. Clark gets it across the timeline. A deep three is good!
You try to deny Caitlin Clark the basketball because with it in her hands, her range is almost limitless. This is good defense by Raven Johnson. Caitlin Clark.
Clark dumps it to Sonato on the roll, serves it in. Outstanding crew, including Carolyn Peck, honored at halftime, headed to the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame. So will she someday. Caitlin Clark buries the three. First three of the game for South Carolina. Stolke running on the other end, lays it in on the dime from Clark. Clark has 2 fouls herself as Marshall comes back for the steal. Here is Clark. Clark spinning into the paint, gets to the cup, and reverses it in. Boston spins, flips, can't finish. Rebound into the arms of Marshall. Here is Clark. Clark goes around Fletcher. The leaner is good. Delivering tonight. Caitlin Clark continues to shimmer. 23 points, 7 assists.
The overpowering size and strength of South Carolina at every position.
Clark has the mismatch. Oh, Caitlin Clark. Now you see her, now you don't.
A great give and go between your bigs. 6'7" Cardoso easily passing it over to 6'5" Boston.
Clark gets a clean look and knocks it down. Clark, eyes up, using the screen from Sonato, bounces to her on the roll for two. Here's Clark. A deep one. You bet! Caitlin Clark!
With 31 points. You know she loves the right to left crossover. We've seen multiple times in this game the defender right there, and it still results in 3.
Clark burning by Beal. Caitlin Clark lays it in. Clark curling around. Clark trying to work around Beal. She does. Caitlin Clark has 35. Clark got it. A 40-point semifinal for Caitlin Clark. This to make it a 2-possession lead again. Oh, yeah. Martin gets it into Clark. Clark races away, and the mythical mastery of Caitlin Clark continues. Iowa has conquered South Carolina. To think there was 10. Clark. Oh my! Welcome to the national championship game. Here's Clark on the cut, the bounce. Sonata waits and finishes.
That was a big problem for them in the first couple of minutes.
Here's Clark getting some space and knocks it down. Sonato gets it back to Clark with space. She got it. Third three of the quarter for Caitlin Clark. Here's Clark pedaling through. Sonato trying to get it back to her. Clark again. She's almost fictional at this point.
Alexis Morris is working so hard trying to defend Caitlin Clark, where a lot of people have tried and failed, and here working and Clark again. Deja Williams is very capable when she catches the ball, both facing the basket and with her back to it. Good decision there.
Clark, what a feed, and the finish from Martin. A gorgeous lead pass from Caitlin Clark. Not only have they shot it well from the floor, they have shot it well from the free throw line, 10 of 11. That is not characteristic of them. Clark knocks down a three. Clark behind the back, separates and hits.
Morris is so dangerous with the pull-up jumper. You have to help out on her, and she read it beautifully with that pass.
Clark playing with 3 fouls. Clark separates and knocks down another. A title game record 7-3 for Caitlin Clark.
And get this close, and it's really hard for them to make the shot. This is outstanding defense by Morris. Hand up right there, doesn't matter.
Now Iowa will go. Clark separates and knocks down a three.
She heard you, Ryan.
Has it. Morris up in her space. Clark through the lane. Nice delivery, and O'Grady lays it in. 11-point game.